The food supply chain is a lengthy global process that dictates the way we live. This lengthy process determines where our food comes from, how it's grown, and how available it is to us. And because this command process is controlled by large to smaller governments, we as human beings have become way too reliant on the supply chain.
I mean, does anybody remember this video from 2020 where people were fighting over toilet paper? One disruption in the supply chain can not only cause panic, but it will cause a domino effect. Just like we saw in this video, where shelves were barren, people were panicking, buying hundreds of rolls of toilet paper, hoarding food, all because society does not know how to be self-sustainable during a media-made crisis, or a small bump in the supply chain. When we become too reliant on the supply chain, we lose contact with our human roots in nature, ecological systems, including human health, money, and ultimately ourselves. The supply chain consists of 4 major processes: primary production, distribution and processing, retail, and then consumption. Retail can also consist of supermarkets and then, of course, fast food or restaurants. 25% of U.S. land is used for food production. This is equivalent to roughly 1 to 3 acres of land per person, or 15 to 48 houses. Cropland represents more in America and has a greater input of energy such as water and fertilizers and pesticides. Here's a map of the glyphosate runoff into the United States currently.
Since the year 2015, over 20 million tons of fertilizer has been used on our produce, which we now find to be actually very detrimental to the human body. And as you can see from the charts that I've provided, it's not benefiting the earth either. All of the glyphosate runoff is actually going into water streams, killing small organisms to larger mammals, fish, and theoretically ourselves, slowly but surely.
The use of energy is also required for fueling tractors and other automotive supplies, running food processing equipment, and powering refrigeration inside of grocery stores. Food processing equipment requires the most amount of energy and takes 1/4 of the energy use in the whole entire food supply chain. Food processing equipment and the general supply chain promotes the burning of fossil fuels such as carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and other synthetic chemicals that are called chlorofluorocarbons. The majority of greenhouse gas emissions is caused from primary production alone, with 80% of nitrous oxide emissions and 39% of methane emissions being caused through the first step of the supply chain. 170 million tons of CO2 is released into the air, which equates to 42 coal-fired power plants, and about 5 kilograms of CO2 emissions per person per day.
The most populous item in a landfill is actually food waste, which is at an all-time high here in America right now.
The United States wastes more than 1/3 of its food supply. Due to the high amount of food waste in the United States, 560,000 kilometers of agricultural land is being wasted, which is the size of California and New York combined.
All in all, the food supply chain is causing detrimental effects on the earth and your body. My goal is to show everybody how easy and simple it is to just garden at home, pick something that you want, grow whatever you want, and be safe with your health, your body, and the environment. I hope this short but straight to the point video gave you a little bit of perspective about the pollution that you're contributing every single time you go to the grocery store. Now, am I saying that the supply chain is going to stop anytime soon? Absolutely not. We're going to see it for years to come, but I do want to make people more aware of how we can lessen the detrimental effects caused by the supply chain on our daily lives. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.